Hey everybody, welcome back to Word from our sponsor. My name is David Dietrich. As always, our sponsor is God. He's the sponsor of this show. He's also the sponsor of your life, whether you like it or not. He has something to say to you through His Word. Today we're going to be in James chapter 4, verse 11. It says, "Do not speak evil against one another. Brothers, the one who speaks against a brother or judges his brother speaks evil against the law and judges the law. But if you judge the law, you are not a doer of the law, but a judge. There is only one lawgiver and judge, he who is able to save and to destroy. But who are you to judge your neighbor?" There's a lot of judging going on here. There's a lot of evil. There's a lot of law and just a bunch of people that seem to not like each other. As we look at this passage, right, it's easy to get caught up in the well, don't judge me, don't judge this, and a lot of the things that get attested to this passage, like, oh, the Bible says you can't judge anybody. None of that is true in the sense of making judgments, right, making decisions or assessing something and saying, is this true or not true? This is specifically talking about judging in the sense of a court or law, like have you broken the law and you are going to receive judgment, right? So if we're going to cast judgment on someone, not make a decision or use our wisdom to know, is this person doing something or is this happening? Should we give counsel here? Our entire day is filled with judgments and decisions and thoughts and things that we have to judge in the sense of making a decision. But this is specifically talking about punishment, talking about doling out judgment in that way. Do not speak evil against one another, brothers, right? So this is just, don't cast accusations in the sense of saying someone is evil. I see this a lot in the church as we speak to one another, right? You're a heretic. You're a false prophet. You're a false teacher, right? These are speaking evil against brothers often. There is a difference between someone who is a false prophet, a false teacher, and someone who has bad theology or false beliefs. They still love Jesus. And if you believe that your theology is what saves you, your understanding of these things, I don't know. I think, how can that be true if you have to have perfect theology in order to be saved, right? I mean, none of us would really believe that. I know I'm not capable of that type of understanding. The one thing that I know is that the work of the cross, Jesus' work on that cross, and the proof that that work was received through his resurrection is something I can build all kinds of knowledge and assurance upon, right? Because he is God as man. When I'm looking at this passage and I think about what do I need to take away from it, right? This is about divisiveness. This is about casting judgment, casting punishment. We do not want to be a people who is divided against ourselves. If we go around and we're saying that the people who are doing work for God, who have genuine love for Christ, genuine commitment to impacting the world, being salt and light, and all we're doing is going around calling out everybody's bad theology or telling that this is a heretic, that's a heretic, or even worse, if we have brothers and sisters who are in, the workplace together, or something else, and we're just in competition with them, or we're trying to undermine what they're doing. This is the kind of stuff that James is talking about here. Is we need to be a people of peace with one another specifically. This is to the church, right? The one who speaks against a brother or judges his brother speaks evil against the law and judges the law. So the law has told you to live in these ways, do these things, and if you start speaking against your brother, you're speaking against the work of the law here. So it's saying you're trying to be like God. As you go through, it just points out there is only one lawgiver and judge, and he who is able to save and to destroy. So Jesus is the only lawgiver and judge. He's the only one that can look at somebody and know the innermost secrets of their heart. We cannot. So as we go about, we need to remember that we're not here as arbiters of truth and judgers of what is true and what is not, and what is holy and what is not. We need to bring a humble spirit, because we need to understand where we come from and our limitations, but also the force that comes behind us. So if we go out with a humble spirit, knowing that God will work through us, the confidence in his hand, but having humility enough to not feel like I have to be the one that reveals this to this person every single time, or I have to be the one that is, distinguishing the wheat from the tare, right? These are things that we need to allow God to do. We need to go and speak the truth. We need to be a vessel in his hand, but do that with a humble spirit. And I think that's really what this passage is getting at, is have a humble spirit, right? You don't know. I think about the book of Ecclesiastes, right? Everything is vanity. Or we look at pursuits that we could go, whether they be knowledge or wisdom or building or finances, like all of these things that Solomon talks about in that book. And he says all of them are vanity if they're under the sun. And this is, just a similar concept in that, you guys, we have to major on the majors. And that is the truth of Christ coming out to others. And we can't be so consumed with getting ahead in this world that we start speaking evil about one another to try to compete. And we can't be so consumed with our knowledge, our understanding, that we're going to base everybody else's decisions and actions on our interpretations and our convictions, right? Because we can have convictions that are in conflict with somebody else, but are still under the interpretive truth framework of the Bible. So what do we take from this? Don't judge other people as far as saying, well, you're going to hell or you're this. Hey, I don't know your heart. Don't cast evil or don't speak evil towards your brothers. Try to be kind. Try to be uplifting. I think about Philippians. Whatever's good, whatever's true, whatever's just, whatever's righteous, whatever's holy, whatever's of God, focus on these things and then let those things pour from you so that you are a spring of God's truth and hope and love and mercy and boldness to the world around you. Love this verse, short passage to look at today, and we'll be back into it next week. God bless you guys. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.